TikTok, time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's what. I'm not even greeting you all. All I see are complaints, man. Where's Mr. Always Late? No greeting for any of you. TikTok, time to shut your pie holes. Greta Thunberg wouldn't be late. Well, good thing I'm not Greta Thunberg, isn't it? Huh. So you're saying that if I don't want to be like Greta Thunberg, I should be as late as possible. Hey, look at this. Is this kid a homegrown terrorist or what? Hey, what's my... I've told you guys, this is getting weird. Every time I hook up anything anymore. Turn up my audio. Sorry about that, everyone. Well, I guess it doesn't matter what my audio's at as long as it's consistent and so on. Anyway, check. Anyway, what the heck? It did not used to do this. It used to keep my audio set at whatever level I had it at before. Now it resets to medium every time I shut down. Hey, how you guys doing? I see low volume. I'm guessing that's fixed. It's fixed now, right? Check. We're professionals here, everyone. Hey, Between the Times said, is this kid a homegrown terrorist or what? Yeah, this is a Pennsylvania jihadi. Got that? Homegrown in Pennsylvania jihadi. It was two guys, actually. There's one, I don't know which one's which, but one is 19 and the other's 18, I believe. One is 19, the other is 18. And they decided to kill a bunch of people in the name of Allah. They said they were freely talking to police and so on, but yep, they were admitting that they were inspired by ISIS and that they wanted to kill more people than those guys did at the Boston Marathon bombing, which was only 3. I mean, that could have been way worse. It was a pressure cooker bomb. You just you take a pressure cooker and stuff and make a little bomb out of it. But it's not like that's not the sort of thing that like takes down buildings and so on. That just kills anyone who's really close to it. You fill it up with nails and metal and so on. Anyway, they wanted to kill more people than that. Fortunately, they really sucked. It's really good that they sucked at building their devices. But anyway, guys, so I was putting together a video, and I realized that my video wouldn't be up till tomorrow. By the time I recorded and edited and posted and everything, but I had the clips together and stuff like that, and so I was just like, I might as well go live. So I got the clips of the attack. Fortunately, no one was killed, so it's not well, can't say completely family friendly, but you can't show actual like terrorist attacks where people are dying and so on. You get in trouble for that. But anyway, I was just thinking, all right, I got the clips together. Might as well jump on live because this was just yesterday in New York City. And if all goes well tonight, I'll get my video recorded later in the middle of the night and then post it in the morning. But pretty creepy. We got Pennsylvania jihadis attacking people outside the mayor's mansion in New York City. Fortunately, they failed terribly. But we're going to check out the clips, and then we'll watch the. I didn't watch the. There were 2 press conferences. There was one later in the day, and that had Mamdani and the police commissioner and so on. I haven't watched any of that. We're going to go ahead and check it out. And then there was a press conference. I think it was today, and I haven't watched that one either, but I saw a clip from it on X, and so I went ahead and got the entire thing so we can watch that. So we're going to check that out. Wait, someone said, AP is letting you down again. No, this was only like 7, so when did I post that I was going live? A little after 7, right? So about an hour ago. About an hour ago. Yeah, that's when I decided an hour ago that I was going to go live because I was like, this is not going to be. I wanted the video done tonight. Video's not going to be done. I might as well just jump on live. I did not invite anyone. I did not invite anyone to join me. So this is not AP letting me down. This is me deciding at the last second, might as well jump on live so that everyone can be updated. So I got the video clips. If you haven't seen them, we're going to check them out. If you haven't seen the press conference, we're going to check it out. And we'll get to the bottom of this. Not in the Zut sense, but we'll get to the bottom of this. Let me take a couple comments here at the beginning. Mom Donnie, it was white supremacy. Yeah, I didn't see what the original CNN post was, but I saw CNN had to take down a post. I mean, I'm sure people screenshot it. It's probably all over the place, but I saw CNN had to take down a previous post, which they said was unclear, but people got the impression that it was white supremacists that threw the bombs and so on. And so they had to take that down after lots of complaints. But Mamdani, eh? Again, I haven't seen, these are just my predictions based on personalities and things like this. I haven't seen Mamdani's press conference from the first day. And it's like a I think 14 or 15 minute clip or something like that, but I think it's a couple people. I don't know how long he speaks. I would predict his wife has just been called out because apparently his wife was celebrating the October 7th massacre as it was happening and liking people's messages when they were celebrating and so on. And this all got called out. And then Mamdani responded something like, well, you know, my wife's a private person. So then the message was, don't talk about her. She's a private person. It's like, hey, she's your wife. I've got one of your songs, Mayor Mamdani, one of your songs where you were praising the Holy Land Five, the guys who are actually taking up donations for charity in the U.S. and funneling it to Hamas jihadis. So we got you on there, and then people defend you. Oh, you know, maybe they just think they're freedom fighters and so on. But then you got your wife celebrating the October 7th massacre. Anyway, based on that, I would think that Mamdani's going to be very careful. I would guess he's going to be very careful and be really tried and true American about all of this and focus on condemning the jihadis in this situation. Let's see. Gotta save New York. That's what's rough, guys. That's what's rough. New York City is doing everything wrong. Although I have to say, based on the clips I've seen, which we're going to watch, New York City police seem to be on the ball. They charged the dude. They charged right. They were jumping over barriers and stuff. This guy's lighting stuff and they're charging him, right? I mean, keep in mind, you're a cop. You see someone with a thing in his hand and he lights it up. That's about to blow for all you know. And cops charged him. So these guys thought they were ready to be blown up to protect people. So hats off to the NYPD. Sometimes they're slimy. I guess it's like everything else. You got a mix bag, right? So you got some people who are slimy. You got some people who really would lay down their lives to protect you. So cool guys. Let's see. Hi, David. We know nothing of this in the UK. Well, fortunately for you, you're in the most peaceful place in the world, the UK, where nothing bad ever happens to anyone. What's this? The Founding Fathers said a man's private life is very important to consider while voting. Keep in mind, I think it's relevant. I think it's relevant that his wife was celebrating the October 7th attack as it was happening. Keep in mind, everyone, regardless of your position on what happened afterwards, if you think Israel went way too far or not far enough, or, they should have been more careful in dropping bombs or less careful or whatever you think afterward. This is before any of that happened. This was just a bunch of jihadis busting through fences in multiple spots. They went over the fence, they went through it, they went under it, they went everywhere, and slaughtered as many people as they could find, and did all kinds of other stuff. You guys are aware of that. And before any of the war that followed, you had people celebrating that. And the current mayor of New York City, his wife was cheering it on. She was cheering it on. And so we'll see. We'll see what Mom Donnie does. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and check some of these. Let's check these first couple super chats, and we'll jump into some of these videos. Oh, no, it's the lone sheep today. That's right. I thought New York City would not be attacked anymore because one of their brothers was the mayor. Mamdani was elected on a campaign of hatred of Jews and Hindus. No. But he said he's there for all New Yorkers. So you're wrong. D. Wood, in your video, you said with Khamenei dying, this will cause a rise in apostasy. Couldn't Muslims argue the opposite will happen? Allah let him die because we were disobedient. We need to be more pious now. You might need to check that out a little more. The idea is they came up with that explanation. That was the guy who was like extremely brutal in cracking down on all sorts of anything that opposes Islam. This guy was cracking down brutally. That guy got taken out. Now, from an Islamic perspective, if anyone's under the protection of Allah, it's the guys who are strictly enforcing Sharia law. Right? That's who is supposed to be favored by Allah. It just doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't happen. And keep in mind, because people will say, oh, but Christians, that's not the point, right? That's not the point. In Islam, after the Battle of Badr, we won because Islam is true, and this is the proof. Next battle, they lost. This is because Allah's mad at us. And so it's built into Islamic thinking. When you're doing things right, Allah's going to protect you, and you're going to win. And when you're not doing things right and you're disobedient, Allah's going to punish you, and so on. Right? And people have pointed out that's similar to the Old Testament. Well, guess what? That was the case in the Old Testament. They would rebel against God, and they turn to polytheism, and their enemies would get the victory over them. They would repent, turn back to God, and they'd be protected again, and so on. And you had this cycle going on. In Islam, they have the same thinking. It just never ever works like that. They've been historically, they've had periods where they're winning with really, really horrible un-Islamic leaders, and all they've been doing since the beginning of the 20th century has been lose, 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 lose. The Iranian Revolution was a big test of a hypothesis. The hypothesis that was tested was, if Allah's just punishing us because we're disobedient, then we'll become obedient, and then Allah's position would change, and then he'd be on our side again. Well, they did that. It didn't work. It didn't even work slightly. They have not improved or become stronger at all. They're losing horribly. And so, point is, that hypothesis failed. They need another hypothesis, like Islam is false. Been trying to find a physical copy of Reliance of the Traveler, but seems to mysteriously be out of stock everywhere. Interesting. I think you can just grab a PDF and stuff like that. I've got it somewhere on my shelf back there. Reliance of the Traveler. Try some of the used bookstores and so on. Anyway, check that out. All right, let's go ahead and watch some of these clips. Let's watch a couple clips. So here we have. Oh, I see some people have been, we got Jack Ray gifting memberships. Thank you. And Fisherman's Corner gifting memberships. Thank you guys for that. Now let's go ahead. Wait, before I play the first clip, let me show you the post of the guy that you're about to see. So see the guy down there at the bottom? This is his page on X. He says, I was in the middle of saying, as a born and raised New Yorker, we welcome everyone into this city, when he threw that over my head. So this is Walter Masterson. He's part of the counter protest. So a group gathered, someone named something Lang, Jeff Lang, Jack Lang, something like that. I've seen him before. I think he showed up to Minneapolis a little while ago, and like they beat the crap out of him or something like that. I don't remember. I think that's the same guy. Anyway, he showed up for some protest outside the mayor's mansion and had a protest. I'm guessing it's against Islam. These guys showed up as counter-protesters. Counter-protesters to say, no, we welcome everyone in New York, and New York is great and wonderful. And one of the jihadis literally used this guy as a vault. He jumped up and used this guy to push off as he threw one of his devices that did not blow up. And people have pointed out, and I'll point out in my video tomorrow if I get that up. But it's just, I mean, the irony here of a jihadi, an ISIS-inspired Pennsylvania jihadi, using what are called useful idiots, right? The people who distract people from jihad and condemn them and call them racist and stuff like that if you have a problem. Now, keep in mind, there are actual racists in the world and so on. But the idea that anyone who opposes Islam violently subjugating the entire world and child marriage and all this stuff, the only explanation is that you're some sort of racist and so on. Okay, you're a useless idiot for an ideology that calls for your violent subjugation, and that makes you're the definition of like a useful idiot. But the idea that you have a guy who's a useful idiot, but actually being used to help a jihadi vault himself higher as he throws this device that fortunately did not work at protesters, that you're being used to help a jihadi slaughter a bunch of people. That irony was not lost on everyone. But let's go ahead and check out a little clip here.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Y'all catch that? I'll watch it one more time and then kind of go in a little slower motion here. But so here's this guy yelling at the protesters, and guy uses him as a vault to get higher to throw his device.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Wait, did we actually catch him saying aloud? He says it later. All right, so let's go a little slow motion here. So check this out. This guy's busy saying, you don't get to come from outside New York City and tell us that Islam is a problem. You can't do that. And then a jihadi who came from outside New York City to kill these guys uses you to vault himself. All right, see this? So there's like a scream. Someone screams that this guy's running up with a smoking device. There he is. And he's got one hand on the guy pushing himself up so he can get higher. See his hand on the guy's back? So that's the jihadi there, guys. He threw it. He was behind that guy like one of the men of all Zut. So he springs off this guy, throws it, and then bolts, and he runs back to light another one. And we've got a clip of him lighting the next one. Police totally charged him. Anyway, let's watch that one more time.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Oh, yeah. kind of quiet because this guy has a mic and the other guy doesn't, but you can hear, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. He even yells it when he's running away. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it because I have headphones on. But let's go ahead and check out another clip here. So that's after he went and got his next one, right? So he went back. I believe that's his... Is that his buddy over there on the side? I think that's his buddy who also got arrested. But let's see. He's got, what, a camo shirt on? We'll have to see if that's the correct person. But he went to grab the other one, and here's him lighting it. And watch, police charge this dude. So hats off to the police. That's it again. I think he drops it right there with that.
Get a circle. Guys, you stay back. Just turn around, get stay back, guys.
Watch the beginning of that again. I think police are charging him. I think he drops it like before the barricade. Let's see. That's some good high-quality police work right there. So he lights his new one here. Lights it up. Let's see. I think he drops it in that. Where does he drop it at? You see him drop it? Wondered if he drops it in this little, like beside that tree. I don't think he had it. I don't think he had it when they tackled him. Anyone see where he dropped it? I couldn't make it out, but it's not terribly high resolution. Huh. Oh, people say in his shirt? I don't think so. Let's see. All right, so they tackle the guy. And that guy's punching the crap out of him right there. That's cool. That's what you do to a terrorist, guys. Because guess what? Oh, you shouldn't punch him because you tackled him. You don't know what kind of device that guy has under his jacket, right? That's time to knock someone out. That's knock someone out time in case they do have something under their jacket and you don't want to give them time to detonate that thing. So you want to knock someone out as quickly as possible in that situation. So good. People are saying at the beginning, yeah, because you can see it smoking. You can see the smoke there. I'm thinking he dropped it right there, and I just can't make it out. I think he dropped it beside that tree because he didn't have it over here. Anyway, one of life's great mysteries which may never be solved. All right, we'll take a look at another clip real quick.
Allahu Akbar. All
right, guys.
Anybody got any keys to these cars? Who's got a key to a car? I need a key and I need an operator to the car. Yeah, I got one. You got a car? Where is it? Right here. Right here. Man, South. You got a key?
So that's this dumb dork. And he says, he told cops that he wanted to kill more people than those Tsarnaev brothers, who again carried out the Boston Marathon bombing. You guys remember that? That was a long time ago, but what was really, really, really creepy about that One of the brothers died when police tracked them down. The younger brother, they locked up. You remember the Rolling Stone magazine treated him like a rock star, had a picture of him on the front page of Rolling Stone magazine. They treated the guy like a young rock star. And what do you got? People who also want rock star jihadi status. We pointed out back then, you do not want to treat these guys like rock stars. And here you are, after all these years and all the jihadis that this young guy could model himself after, he picked the young guy that was treated like a rock star. But listen here at the beginning, you can hear him. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
Well, there you go, guys. New York City. So here's what's interesting. You have, Times Square. Times Square. So for Ramadan, Muslims took over a section of Times Square to proclaim Islam and so on, doing Ramadan da'wah, and now we got the Ramadan Bombathon. We're back to the Ramadan Bombathon, everyone. Ramadan Bombathon 2026. So you've got the Islamic fasting and prayer show in Times Square. That's where they say, hey, everyone, look at us, we're praying. Don't you have mosques to pray in? Yeah, but we want to be right in the middle of Times Square where as many cameras are pointing at us as possible because we need attention. We need massive attention. We want everyone looking at us while we're praying. And we want everyone knowing that we're fasting. And by fasting, we mean gorging ourselves with food multiple times per day and gaining 20 pounds during Ramadan. That's fasting. But check out our praying. Check out our praying. And anyone who said one word, even if it's just like, okay, Islam is false. Islam is false. And no, you guys aren't. No, you're not taking over the world. You're a racist, Islamophobic, hate-mongering bigot. And now you had some protesters against Islam and counter-protesters. No, we love Islam in New York City. And then young jihadis tried to blow up the protesters. Ramadan Bombathon, everyone. Next, we're going to check out what Mamdani said afterwards. Take these next couple of super chats real quick. Jack Ray hooked me up, so here's 10 more, my friends. That's why Fisherman Corner did it. Jack Ray hooked him up. He paid it forward. Did you see that allegedly Sneeko and Nick Fuentes are in a Zut relationship? No. I know everyone's been jumping all over Sneeko for years ago saying that he has been attracted to men at certain points or something like that. I don't know how Nick is connected. I know people have said the same thing about Nick, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't trust PDFs because of editing. That's possible. Also, used copies of Reliance are crazy expensive. Really? I might sell mine then. That was the case. I remember when I bought Ibn Asak's Surat Rasulullah. And back then you could just buy it off Amazon. It was like $55 or something like that. But I bought it off Amazon. But I remember several years later, I looked at it. It was like $800 and stuff like that for used copies. I'm like, what the heck happened? But yeah, I guess when they don't print stuff, then everyone's scrambling for a copy and then they're hard to get and stuff. I guess the takeaway would be like when there's books like that and they're published and it's easy to get a copy, get like 10 copies. And then when everyone's scrambling to find them because no one has them anymore, then you can just sell them for hundreds of dollars. It'd be a good little investment there. I just found out that in the original Japanese version of Digimon, one of the characters, Magnamon, has an attack where he blows himself up called Extreme Arabic Struggle Jihad. Hilarious 15-second video. I did not know that. I'll check it out now. Islamist attack in Birmingham, UK, shown on 2C TV. When was that? Is that new or old? Let me check. I'll just glance at 2C TV real quick. Breaking No, that's the new supreme leader in a coma. Regime falling apart. Just see if there's anything new here. Unless he said it as part of one of these other ones. This is all stuff about Iran. Don't see anything. I don't see anything unless it's part of one of his part of one of the other topics he was addressing. Gene Simmons called and said he wants his Kiss hairstyle back from how that was. I knew it reminded me of something. That is absolutely Gene Simmons from Kiss hairstyle. He wants his Kiss hairstyle back from that one jerk, especially since Gene is he's a Jew. Yeah, someone should ask that young buck, hey, why are you copying hairstyles of the Jews? Does Islam have any love thy enemy command in any context? No. You have kind of a version of the golden rule, but it's clearly towards like fellow Muslims. I feel about New York City the same as Dizzle about Wenger. So you think New York City is the worst city that has ever existed. And, thanks for that. No comment. Let's go ahead and check out Mamdani. Let's go ahead and check out Mamdani. Again, I have not seen this one. One second. We had a response on the 2C TV. Where'd it go? Okay. Let's see. 2C is literally live talking about it now. And we had someone saying it's at the end of his latest stream. And someone said a storefront was shot up. So guess that's all in the UK. Yeah, I'll have to check that out later, guys. It's the first time hearing of it. But let's check out what Mayor Mamdani says.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On Saturday, a protest was held outside Gracie Mansion, where I live with my wife, Rama.
Wait, that was Saturday? Why did I think this is all Monday? I am totally out of it. This was on Saturday? Okay. Well.
Neither of us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City.
White supremacy.
I'm the first Muslim mayor.
Hey, does anyone know if these are actual white supremacists? And I'm saying that because, guess what? You do have actual white supremacists. You have actual white supremacists, but then you have people that, it's just a thing. If you disagree with them or you don't like Islam or something like that, they call you white supremacists. So does anyone know if there's actual white supremacists? I don't know. I have zero clue. And keep in mind, even if you're a white supremacist, you have the right in the United States of America to say what you want here in the U.S., as long as you're not breaking any laws and so on. But, let's see, someone said, I seriously doubt it. That's the thing. It's like, you can't even tell anymore. Someone says, hey, so-and-so's a white supremacist. Well, that's what you would say about an actual white supremacist. That's what you would say about anyone who opposes anything to do with Islam. That's the way you would describe anyone that you disagree with about anything. It's just the thing. Let's see. The protest is led by Jake Lang, who is ethnically Jewish. And then we have Jake Lang is pretty bad. We have he is a supremacist. Uh-oh. Okay, I guess I have to investigate myself because you guys are giving inconsistent answers. No, it's an anti-Islamist thing. All right, we'll have to. And then we have no, they weren't. Okay. Interesting. Yep, I don't know. I don't know. We'll check that out later. But anyway, Mamdani says it's white supremacist.
Of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling,
And wanting Jews dead is nothing new to my family, as you can see from what's been released about my wife, who would like to remain a private person, so don't criticize her.
nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone.
That's pretty much what I would have expected, since he is under the microscope right now over things his wife's response during the October 7th attacks.
I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all. But a few did not. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City.
Pennsylvania. Ramadan 2026, ladies and gentlemen, we got Pennsylvania jihadis attacking people in New York.
They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody, and the devices they brought taken off of our streets. I want to commend the officers who were on site. They faced a chaotic situation that very quickly could have become far more dangerous. NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards and Sergeant Luis Navarro ran towards the danger so that others could run to safety.
Again, hats off to the NYPD who were there. They did a bang-up job. And whatever objections I may otherwise have to police officers, they did a good job.
They are here with us now, and I want to thank them today publicly as I did yesterday privately, and to thank the dozens of other officers who responded without hesitation. That is courage, that is selflessness, and I'm deeply grateful to both of them and to every member of the NYPD who works every single day to keep New Yorkers safe. As the NYPD continued their investigation yesterday, they found a third suspicious device in a vehicle on East End between 81st and 82nd Street. Out of an abundance of caution, they conducted a number of limited evacuations of nearby buildings before removing the device from the area. Once the device was removed, those evacuated were allowed to return to their homes. I am grateful for their continued work to keep New Yorkers safe. And let me say this plainly. Anyone who comes to New York City to bring violence to our streets will be held accountable in accordance with the law. As this case continues to develop, I will remain in close contact and communication with our police commissioner. I want to say thank you once again to everyone who acted on Saturday to protect their fellow New Yorkers and to uphold the values of this city. Now I would like to invite Police Commissioner Tisch to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone.
All right, everyone. So this is the police commissioner of New York City. And again, I haven't seen what she saw here. I haven't watched any of this yet. I did see a clip of the follow-up.
First, I will tell you that we are not at liberty to discuss many aspects of the ongoing investigation at this time due to the pending prosecution. The suspects here, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, are going to be prosecuted in federal court here in Manhattan, and a complaint will set forth criminal charges and the factual allegations supporting those charges. After that complaint is made public, which I expect to occur later today, I will be able to say much more about the investigation and what we have learned in this case. But it is crucial that we respect that process and not get ahead of it. That being said, I can confirm this morning that this is being investigated as an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism. I can also provide some additional information building on my remarks from Saturday evening. At that time, we were beginning to conduct preliminary analysis of two devices that were ignited and deployed earlier that day, one in a crosswalk on East End Avenue and East 87th Street, and the other on the west side of East End Avenue between East 86th and East 87th Streets. That testing was performed by the NYPD's bomb squad and FBI special agent bomb technicians in consultation with an FBI chemist. Preliminary test results determined that these were not hoax devices nor smoke bombs. They were improvised explosive devices that could have caused serious injury or death. Part of our initial investigation was to determine what energetic substance, if any, was used in the two devices, and our analysis showed that one of the devices deployed by the subjects contained the substance triacetone triperoxide, known as TATP. Now, TATP is a dangerous and highly volatile homemade
The point here, guys, is sometimes there are hoax bombs, right? There are hoax bombs. You make something that looks like a bomb, but you're just trying to freak people out. You're just trying to freak people out. You're trying to scare people. And so you would be charged with, depends on where it is, but there would be a specific charge that is making a hoax bomb or using a hoax weapon or something like that. They're pointing out, no, these were actual IEDs, and they didn't go off. These guys just didn't know enough. They didn't know enough about, they didn't get it right. So they messed up in the design, lit them, and they didn't work. So that's good.
Explosive that has been used in IED attacks around the world. Our bomb squad then rendered safe both devices. And as of now, explosive evidence samples are being sent to an FBI lab for further testing. Our investigation.
Yeah, you'd want to know where he got this stuff from.
Also led our detectives to a vehicle that was tied to the suspects. And yesterday afternoon, patrol officers found that car, a black 2010 Honda with New Jersey plates on East End Avenue between East 81st Street and East 82nd Street. Using a robot, the NYPD's bomb squad was able to find another possible suspicious device and materials inside the car consistent with the first two explosive devices, and the area was immediately frozen and cleared. A limited evacuation of certain floors and certain nearby buildings was conducted while the officers secured the vehicle and removed this third device, which was transported to Rodman's neck for.
Just to clear, I've seen tons of people, as in hundreds, posting Dumb and Dumber about the two guys because they just look like idiots, him and his buddy. They both look like complete idiots. They are idiots. They screwed up everything. Now they're going to be spending, I don't know about, they can spend the rest of their lives. They tried to kill a bunch of people in a terrorist attack. So they can be sentenced to life. But since no one was actually killed and so on, they might get, 20, 30 years or something like that. Unless they start blabbing. You know what would happen in a sane world where everyone wasn't trying their hardest not to be Islamophobes? You'd take these guys. Who are caught in, attempting terrorist attacks and so on. And you'd lock them in a cell, and then you'd let me and AP and God Logic and all these guys just talk to them for a while. Just talk to them about why they were so convinced that Islam is true that they were ready to go on a killing spree. Just let us talk to them day after day, as long as it takes. But their confidence would eventually be shaken because they'd find out everything they were told all their lives, perfect preservation, scientific miracles, a bunch of idiotic nonsense. They might still remain Muslims and so on, but their confidence would be shaken enough to where they think, gosh, should I really be slaughtering people in the name of this stuff? Maybe I should have thought through this a little more. Anyway, the point there is they'd probably be way more likely to talk after that about anything they know, any connections they have. What the heck is up with this camera, man? It's done that multiple times. Gonna have to brutally murder this camera. What is this? What is this? You see, this is the proof. This is the proof. All right, everyone. Sorry about that. Let's get back to this.
Further testing. This third device tested negative for explosive material. Once the scene was secure and deemed safe, residents were allowed to return to their homes. Now, we have been in a heightened state of alert in New York City since the start of hostilities in Iran, and we remain in that posture today. We will continue to deploy additional counterterrorism resources throughout New York City, including heavy weapons teams, K-9 units, aviation, and more. The NYPD...
Oh, interesting. Black Angel says there's a video that shows one of them shopping for that stuff 2 days after the war in Iran started. That was... I wasn't thinking in terms of Iran. I was thinking in terms of like Ramadan. But if you make some IEDs, right, improvised explosive devices, and so on, and they don't work, that probably means you were trying to scramble to learn it and didn't have time to like test things and figure out what you're doing and so on. And so yeah, I was just thinking. I was thinking that, hey, it's Ramadan. They want to do something for Ramadan because your rewards are multiplied for anything you do during Ramadan. And then they heard, like a couple days beforehand, that there's going to be this protest. And they thought, aha, now's our chance to really take out some Islamophobes. So I was thinking they scrambled to figure out how to do it. And they just went online and ran out and grabbed some stuff and tried to build a couple. And then it didn't work. But yeah, Black Angel saying... These are guys reacting to the Iran, might have been guys reacting to the situation in Iran, deciding to go out and slaughter people in the name of Allah. That does make sense. Either way, they appear to be guys who kind of scrambled to figure out how to do it and messed up. And we can all be glad that they messed up.
Is vigilant and determined in our unceasing efforts to ensure the safety of this city and the security of its 8.5 million residents. We also cannot lose sight of how serious this situation was. The last time that an IED targeting people was deployed in New York City was in 2017 when Akayed Ullah detonated a device strapped to his torso in the pedestrian underpass connecting the Port Authority bus terminal and the Times Square subway station. No one other than the attacker was injured in that incident. And once again, we were fortunate that the devices used this weekend did not cause the kind of harm that they were certainly capable of causing. But luck is never a strategy. Devices like these have the potential to cause devastating harm, which is why the NYPD does thorough counterterrorism investigations and treats every incident of this kind with the highest level of urgency and care. And it is why we remain vigilant. The safety and security of the entire city ultimately rests on the judgment and the courage of the men and women of the NYPD. And on Saturday, we saw that in its truest form. When those devices were ignited in the middle of a crowded protest, officers did not step back, they stepped forward. With me today are two of those officers, Assistant Chief Aaron Edwards and Sergeant Louis Navarro, who ran toward a lit IED without hesitation and without regard for their own safety. Acting as police officers do, on instinct and training to protect people they did not know and would likely never meet. Moments like that remind us what policing truly requires.
1 second. 1 second, everyone. We got the We got the Christian Issa here. Just invites himself in whenever he wants.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing, Jay?
Good, good. Saw you were live, so I thought I'd jump in.
So you've been following this whole thing?
No, just learning about it now, actually.
Yeah, I saw something about it yesterday, was not paying a whole lot of attention to it, and then saw more of it today. And then it was mainly when I saw that counter protester, like literally in the middle of saying everyone is welcome here, and that guy being used for the terrorist to vault himself up to throw the device he just made. And I was like, I gotta point this out. I gotta point this out. So that's when I started looking into it. And yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
Ramadan.
Yeah, so Ramadan, crazy Ramadan, like you said, you predicted it, and now it's turning into a bombathon.
Ramadan bombathon, everyone. All right, let's get back to this awesome press conference.
Is because behind every counterterrorism operation, every bomb squad response, every emergency call that sends officers running towards danger, there are human beings who make the decision to step forward when others are running away. Chief Edwards has been a uniformed officer for nearly 23 years. He is, as of December, our newly minted borough chief in Manhattan North. Chief Edwards joined this department after witnessing the heroism of NYPD officers on September 11th. And on Saturday, we saw that same spirit carried forward in the way that he responded.
That's actually pretty dope there, guys. If everyone just caught that, they said, this guy, I think she said Edwards, so he's the borough chief now. So this guy just got a promotion and still charged, right? That's good. But she said he was inspired to become a police officer after watching NYPD respond in 9/11 and rushing to help people and so on. Those are the kinds of guys you want as cops in New York City, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the kinds of guys you want as cops.
Yeah.
Sergeant Navarro has spent the past 11 years serving the city he grew up between Puerto Rico and New York, eventually settling in Washington Heights and the Bronx, and joined the NYPD after a close friend encouraged him to take the exam. On Saturday, he and Chief Edwards responded with a calm judgment and professionalism that situations like this demand. Together, they represent the dozens of cops who were safeguarding that protest Saturday afternoon and the nearly 35,000 members of this department who stand watch over New York City every day.
I also saw this. So someone posted, the two ISIS jihadis don't even live in NYC. Yeah, I pointed that out. They traveled from their family McMansions in suburban Pennsylvania. How did their parents from Afghanistan and Turkey become millionaires so fast? Yeah, I saw one of them. I don't know about the other, but I saw one of them. His parents, he lives in like a $2.5 million mansion. Something like that. Something like a $2.5 million mansion. And it's like, hey, I got to go slaughter people in the name of Allah.
Yeah, like the left was always saying things like, "Oh, these terrorists are like uneducated and they're just like these poor people," and like it's like, no, some of these guys are like doctors, or they're like children of doctors or engineers or something. It's like,
it's weird. It's almost like it has to be something else motivating them and not poverty and so on.
Exactly.
You're kind of young, Jai. Do you remember when people were saying things like, it's because of climate change that these guys are going around slaughtering people in the name of Allah. So if we just fix that was like 2015, 2016.
Okay. I don't think I was keeping up with it then, no, but it sounds like something I would say though. It sounds like something
people were saying it, and then you had people who started trying to defend it. They were going, yeah, well, actually, it may sound stupid, but as climate change ruins people's farms and stuff, they go to the city, and as they go to the city, it's all really tense and they get frustrated, and then they get flustered, and then they decide to go on a killing spree. It's like, man. Okay, aren't there wouldn't climate change be affecting everyone like that?
Right.
Like, wouldn't that be affecting, all like Christians and everyone else? And shouldn't everyone be running out and slaughtering people in the name of whatever they believe, if it's actually caused by that?
Exactly. And climate change seems to be like this big talking point in Islam. Like, they say that like Aisha was like, she was hit puberty, and all this, all this when she was like 6 years, 7,
It was
8,
so hot.
9 years.
It was so hot out there. It was so hot in the
Yeah.
desert.
So seems to be a big talking point for them, the climate stuff.
Our entire city owes all of them a debt of gratitude, and although I've said it
Were
to
you gonna
them
show
many
these dudes or
times
not?
already, I will never tire of it. Thank you for your service. We'll now take some questions.
Oh man, I thought she was going to show the cool dudes.
Time for a few questions. We'll start with Jake, AP, right here. Right here. Sorry, we have a microphone too.
I know you can't really go into so much detail at this point, but given that you are saying this is an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism or being investigated, can you give
Sorry,
us?
could you just speak up a little bit more?
Yeah. Can you just?
We heard exactly what he said, man. So did you.
He's just trying to make him nervous.
Or some people do that. Some people do that because they're trying to think of a response. But I mean,
Okay, buying time. Yeah.
Give us any sense as to what information you may have to indicate that this is possibly ISIS inspired. Also, the commissioner mentioned the heightened state of alert related to the war in Iran. Any indication at this point that there's a connection? And then just also, do you know why they wanted to come to New York in this protest in particular?
So I'll pass this over to our commissioner to answer some of the specifics.
So that's the police
Why'd you step up to
commissioner.
the mic, man? Why'd you step up to You're the mayor, dude. That was a question for you.
So she's the police commissioner, right?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Just wondering why Mamdani wouldn't be able to answer that one.
So, Jake, at this time, we do not have any information that connects this investigation to what's going on overseas in Iran. As to the other questions that you posed, I don't want to say anything that could introduce prejudice into the prosecution or do anything that will make the prosecutors' jobs more difficult. What I can say is that the complaint, I expect, will be unsealed later this afternoon. And once that happens, I will be at greater liberty to discuss and...
Someone else said authorities stated it is not related to the war. It was ISIS inspired. Yeah, I don't know. I know these guys were saying that they support ISIS and so on. That doesn't exclude it being connected to the war in Iran.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
because like you point out, it's like what happened in Iran that deflates like the whole Muslim world, not just the Shia. That like deflates all. It's a reminder to all the Muslims that they just keep failing, and they just keep failing and failing and failing. Especially ISIS. I mean, they tried, and
yeah, and I pointed this out. In my video that even I see lots of Sunnis flipping out about the war in Iran, which. And the death of Khamenei, they would normally be cheering for that because that dude is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths of Sunnis through his puppets.
yeah.
So you saw there were Sunnis that were like celebrating it and saying he's going to hell and stuff. You had others, no, we need to unite. Stuff is like, what are you guys talking about? But even from a like hardliner Sunni perspective, it should be Sunnis. It should be Sunnis dealing with the Shias who kill Sunnis. And when it turns out to be the United States and Israel, it's like a big slap in the face to Sunnis. Like, you guys are weak. You can't deal with it. You can't deal with it. But, Western leaders or Israel can take these guys out at will. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like a reminder that they're weak. And then when they feel weak, they want to show that they're strong and so on. So anyway, I haven't seen any... Yeah. Except for the timing, I haven't seen any actual connection to the war in Iran, but don't know.
Answer the questions that you pose.
Thank you. We'll go to Andrew Sef now.
Mayor, you said you were not home at the time of this incident. Can you tell us where you were, how you learned about this incident, and what went into your thought process about why you didn't speak?
You already said that at the beginning.
About this publicly, either on Saturday when the commissioner did or on Sunday.
So we had...
In Mamdani's defense, you normally don't want to talk about it right when it happens, other than just to say, hey, police are going to be on the job because
Yeah.
details
He's
are
still
usually,
learning.
yeah,
Yeah.
and lots of what you say is going to be wrong, and it wouldn't be as bad as it could be. Like you had the people still to this day, like even today, where I saw people bringing up the what about the 40 beheaded babies, and it's like, guys, people always get things wrong if you start talking like before all this stuff is sorted out.
Yeah.
But anyway. So anyway, it is a good idea to wait for more information to come in.
Known that this was a protest that was scheduled for over a week, and I had known that there were precautions being taken, and I'm incredibly appreciative of the work that the NYPD both did in advance, as well as the work that we've spoken about having happened on the day and since then. My wife and I were at the New York City Sign Museum in Brooklyn at the time. We continued to be kept up to date as to what was going on both in the midst of the protest, in the aftermath of the protest. And we also wanted to ensure that we were able to address New Yorkers directly.
I'm just reminded of what an idiot I am. He said he was at the Sign Museum, and I was thinking, is that a museum for signs or for sign language? Or I just keep going down the list of what a sign museum could be, and then I miss everything that he says afterwards. That's my world.
Clearly, with all of the facts.
I thought you were going to say what it was. What is the Sign Museum?
I don't know. You want to look up what the Sign Museum is?
Yeah, look it up. Yeah.
And then is when it says New York City Sign Museum, is it like the great signs of like about New York City, like actual signs that are all New York City and how they've kind of changed over the years, or is it just great signs?
It is about the signs. Non-profit organization dedicated to preserving, archiving, and displaying historic, hand-painted, and neon signage from the New York City metropolitan area. So he was looking at actual like signs, like street signs and stuff.
You know who always finds that cool stuff? Guys who do demolition.
Yeah.
Like they're going or just massive renovations and stuff. They go in and like start tearing down, tearing up old stuff and find all sorts of cool stuff, old signs.
We had them, especially given how fast moving this has been, wanted to ensure that we had all of that together.
Thank you. We'll go to Catherine, CNN.
Hi, good morning. Wondering if prior to the protest there was any credible threats online from these individuals, anything that you could see from their social media presence, anything like that leading up to it, that you'd know that they'd be traveling from Pennsylvania to attend this?
I would guess no. And I say that because I used to live in the Bronx. So for like 13 years, we lived in the Bronx, and I counted. I forget what the number was, but it was like 12 or 13 or something terrorist attacks in a row that were all supposed to be killing people in New York City. It was like 12 or 13 in a row that they stopped without anyone dying. And it seemed that the main reason was these guys would always be blabbing to someone. They'd be blabbing.
So they learned.
Yeah, they'd be blabbing online, in chat groups, and they don't realize there's informants in the chat groups, or someone's monitoring these chat groups. Or it would be an informant from a mosque, because these guys they're stupid, right? They'll go and they'll just be like asking around, hey, does anyone know where I can get a bomb, and so on. So I remember that happening repeatedly. And so if an informant in the mosque hears about it, he notifies the authorities, hey, this guy's asking how to get a bomb. And they'll tell him, you know where to get one, and we will set him up with one. And so you go and tell him, and they set you up with a fake bomb, and they give you fake instructions on how to detonate this bomb. And then they see if you actually go and try doing it, and then they arrest you and send you to prison for a very long time. But so I would guess these guys kept their mouths shut because, as you were pointing out, they may have learned.
Again, preliminary investigation, and you're going to learn a lot more as the complaint is unsealed, but nothing at this time that would have suggested that.
Thank you. We have time for one more question. Emma, go ahead right here in the front.
Has the team finished going through the devices of the two men associated? And also, is there anything known about a possible third individual who was with them?
Those devices are currently being investigated, so that process is ongoing, and we have no information about a possible third individual with them at this time.
Thank you guys so much.
So there were two attackers, because I remember when I'm not up to date on this, but I saw one like one guy throwing.
One guy did
something.
it, and then he ran to the other guy. I don't think I had that clip, but I've seen the clip.
Okay.
But he ran up to the other guy who was handing him the next one.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I know there's at least two. Some people have suggested three, which is entirely possible. There could have been, someone close by or something like that, or someone that was working with them. Like even in Texas, where those two guys were killed because they were going to go and slaughter people at the Muhammad cartoon contest. There was another guy who was working with them who, but didn't actually go to it with them, and so. But I mean, so keep in mind, this could have been like 5 or 6 or 7 dudes like working together to like build them and stuff like that. But yeah, we'd have to see what happened. How you doing, Jai?
Yeah, doing good. Just finished the stream. Came here.
Oh yeah, what were you talking about?
Nick, Fearless Truth, he had a debate with 3 Mormons, and the topic of the angel of the Lord came up and how to translate it. Is it an angel of the Lord or the angel of the Lord? So I did a stream on that.
Who won?
Oh, Nick won. Yeah, Nick won.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, he took on 3 Mormons. And he won.
Huh. Well, I bet the Mormons are about to go out and wage a terrorist attack, slaughtering non-Mormons in the name of Joseph Smith.
One of the things that we noticed from that, like,
I'm saying climate change affects Mormons too, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
but one of the things that we did actually notice, like even the chat was noticing this as well, was that these Mormons were getting like super aggressive and like using some of them were using foul language, and it's like not the Mormons you grew up with. Like, yeah, that's what I'm
Mormons?
saying. Yeah, like they're producing like this new aggressive debater generation. Like they're like young guys who are like very like I would like to debate them, but like you're not used to seeing that from Mormons, though, is what I mean.
I told people, and this was a long time ago, so probably like 2011, 2012. But so we lived in the Bronx. I went to Fordham, but there was a group. There's all the graduate schools from the universities. They put together like a group of people from all the different schools who were focusing on the problem of evil, and then we would meet at Columbia University. So we're having these meetings at Columbia University. So I take the 2 train down from the Bronx, and I would get off at the stop in Harlem, and then walk over to Columbia. Anyway, it's a nice little walk and stuff. But anyway, so I go down to Harlem, get off the train, and then walk. And I was walking back from one of those meetings when I saw this group of Mormons, and it was right on the corner of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So it was right on the corner of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and there was like 5 or 6 young Mormons. So these guys look like they're 17, 18, and so on, just in the middle of everyone, like defending Mormonism. And I was like, how is this not like a reality show or something, man? You got a bunch of like 17, 18-year-old Mormons in the middle of Harlem on the corner of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and debating Mormonism with everyone. But I started talking to one of the dudes, and first we were talking about like Mormonism and stuff. Then I asked him like, hey, what do you guys normally you guys go like 2 people walk up to a house and knock on the door and then go through your presentations and stuff. So what's up here? And I thought it was really interesting. He said, we're part of a group that is being trained to go preach Mormonism in Muslim countries, and they're sending us out to areas where we're going to have to like seriously like debate more than like at someone's house, like where we're going to be in a more hostile environment out in the open, because that might be how it is in some of the places we're going. So they're trying to the leaders are trying to like get these guys used to being in hostile environments and stuff like that. So it's not just, hey, don't go knocking on doors
Harlem.
anymore. Yes, go around to some other areas where you're going to be surrounded by people, because that might be how it ends up if you start preaching, and you might get surrounded and stuff like that. So you need to get comfortable with that sort of thing. So I thought that was interesting. And then so I was thinking at first I was like, hey, this should be a reality show like these Mormon guys and stuff. But I was like, if you guys are going to the Middle East or something like that, that should really be a reality show.
Yeah. That's actually really funny. So they're gonna go to like I don't know, Syria or something like that, and they're like, yeah, go to Harlem first, and you can make it in Harlem, you can make it make it in Egypt or something.
Yeah, you know what that it's totally different, but it reminded me of something that I thought was interesting. I forget which country it was. It was something like Syria. It wasn't Saudi Arabia. It was like one of those other countries, Syria or something like that. But it was there was a guy there who took Josh McDowell's master's thesis on the deity of Christ. So this is way back in the day. Guys, if you're young, you might not be familiar with Josh McDowell, but Josh McDowell is the one who kind of started the Renaissance and getting Christians to focus on apologetics and so on.
Yeah.
And so he kicked that off in the 80s, and tons of people, the first apologetics book that I ever knew what apologetics was. I had read some books before that. I didn't know I just thought I was reading books about Christianity, not like I didn't know what apologetics was. But some old guy came up to me in prison, and he said, he walks up and he said, my daughter sent me this. Seems like something you'd be interested in. It was More Than a Carpenter by Josh McDowell. And so I read that, and I was thinking, oh, wow. As soon as I started reading, I was like, oh, this is what I'm interested in. And I remember seeing the book More Than a Carpenter in the Christian Book Distributors catalog. And I saw it was under the category apologetics. I didn't know what apologetics was, but I was like, okay, whatever apologetics is, I'm interested in that. Because that's what the book was. So I read More Than a Carpenter, and then I ordered more books and stuff like that. But anyway, some guy, let's just say Syria. It was like Syria or a Muslim area of Lebanon or something like that. But anyway, he was distributing he printed them himself just on paper. Josh McDowell's master's thesis on the deity of Christ, defending the deity of Christ. And he'd been distributing this to people and so on. Anyway, he gets brought in to the police department, right? So they bring him into the police department. They set him down in the interrogation room, and an officer opens a drawer and pulls out one of these copies, pulls out a copy of Josh McDowell's master's thesis and puts it on the desk and says, you the guy who's been distributing this? And he said, well, he just thought, well, I don't want to lie, so I'm just going to tell him, yeah, I did it. And the police officer goes, good, we want you to distribute as many of these as you can.
Really?
And so this guy was like, wait, what? What's going on here? And the guy explained it. He said, Jehovah's Witnesses are overrunning various areas. They're going, Jehovah's Witnesses are preaching everywhere. And
must have been Lebanon. Yeah. Must have been Lebanon.
They're winning converts and stuff. And we want people to know that these guys are not real Christians. So we want you to distribute this wherever you can, so that when the Jehovah's Witnesses show up, people will know how to refute them. It's like, wait, refute them by defending the deity of Christ? Really? And so anyway,
that's awesome.
That guy just rolled with it. Those situations are pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, I've met Jehovah's Witnesses that go to they frequent Jerusalem. I met one guy, he learned Arabic, and he's from Ukraine or something, and he was living in Jerusalem. And so I met him, and then I know there were more. I think Mormons have a deal with the Israeli government, not to proselytize or something like that. But Jehovah's Witnesses, they're really not big, but in terms of cult groups, they're like a big cult group that is in Lebanon. I wasn't sure if they were focusing just on Christian communities or they were going after Muslims as well, but that lines up with, I think, probably Lebanon. Makes sense. It would make sense. Yeah.
Interesting how things work out. Cool stuff. Let's see. I was an atheist my entire life. Watching your videos led me to Christ. I just wanted to thank you for that. Awesome.
Praise God.
Awesome. Start making some more videos. Atheism. Oh, that's a super sticker. Thanks, Ida. Hey, Ida. Let's see. Judas, I scare not.
Is that like a
says-
thing?
What?
I know it's whenever Ida says, you're like, hey, Ida. Is that like a thing? Like a.
Oh, I don't know. We just started saying Jake Lang is a very questionable character. And then follow up. Jake was carrying a roasted pig to Mamdani and walking a goat around at this protest. Why did he be walking a goat around?
Maybe he's trying to protect it from them.
Jew from the Hood out now all... What is this? Jew from the Hood out now all platforms, including the Al Zut anthem, shouting out David Wood, apostate prophet, North Highlands infidel full album.
That's hilarious.
Jew from the Hood. So people protesting Islam is bigotry, but trying to kill people isn't. Got it. Mamdani would fit in well with the Dawa guys, not in the Zut sense. Well, I haven't seen anyone like defending the trying to slaughter people. So,
yeah.
Judge Hammertime must find the defendants Dumb and Dumber not guilty on grounds of being incompetent. Yeah. I find that you are both not guilty by reason of mental defect, being the product of 40 generations of first cousin marriage, has destroyed your competence. That's how we'd roll. Saw a Facebook post posted by John Dorsey that shows Jake Lang messaging with a young girl, and it was really a sting. He got caught. Well, if he got caught, he deserved to get caught. Merry Christmas from, what is this? Chiron Beta Prime, where we're working in a mine for Ribat overlords. Did I say overlords? I meant protectors. What is this?
Not sure.
It says John. Oh no, Jai deported AP for his studio. Hello, Jai, David, everybody in the chat. Hope y'all have an easy time. I don't want an easy time. He's not a white supremacist, but some of his tactics on how he protests are a bit questionable to some people. Guys, Muslims aren't a race or ethnicity. It's not racist to dislike Muslims. Yeah, a racist can dislike Muslims. A non-racist could dislike Muslims because of their views. I'm usually quite comfortable with people who don't want to slaughter me and aren't trying to overthrow my legal system and so on. You can see even on our live streams and stuff, we tend to get along with people. We'll disagree and we'll argue and debate and stuff like that. But totally different situation with a Muslim who believes in Islam but doesn't want to violently subjugate you and doesn't want to silence you and doesn't scream Islamophobia anytime you disagree with him and so on. Totally different between those guys and some other guys. All right, ready to check out this last clip?
Let's do it.
For everyone who showed up late, I'm just going to replay the first one again just because it's super short. But this is when the guy threw his little device here, in case you missed it earlier.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want...
So we went through this earlier, but this guy is a counter-protester saying that if you have a problem with Muslims, you're a horrible, evil person, and then a Muslim uses him to vault himself higher so he can throw the bomb at the protesters. What?
That reminds me of like the college kid who was asking Charlie Kirk the question of, he was like saying like his question was about like trans people not being violent or something, remember? And that's when he got shot. And it's like this guy here, same thing. It's like, these guys are not violent, they're not evil people, they're not, and then the guy's like using them to like throw a bomb, and like it's
New York,
kind of crazy how that
and we
happens.
want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else. And then tell everyone else. And then tell everyone else.
Heard him him say Allahu Akbar like 3 times. But so check this out. So
Oh,
here's the
let me
guy.
listen in for that.
Oh, you got your headphones in?
Yeah, I wasn't listening for. I'm gonna
You can
listen
hear
for that now,
because
though.
the guy's got a mic, but you can hear Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. But check this out.
Tell everyone else.
Oh yeah.
I didn't hear it when I just listened to it on my computer, but when I have headphones on, I can hear it. You can hear more detail. But anyway, so this guy is here, and guy runs up, puts one arm on him to lift himself higher, and I've seen people. I posted earlier. Someone said he throws like a girl because he throws like.
Oh, that makes
He
sense.
throws like
Yeah,
this, and
yeah.
you know, anyway. But wait, he said it makes sense that he throws like a girl.
Yeah.
But look,
Jihadi,
look,
yeah.
he's got one hand on the guy using his hand to lift him. See his hand on his back? He actually
Yeah.
uses this guy to vault himself up so he can throw it at the protesters.
Has this guy made a statement? Like, has he come out and said like
He was talking to
anything
cops.
about-
He was talking to cops. Yep. And he was just blabbing. So I think he even waived his right to counsel. I saw a 30-second clip of the longer press conference that we're about to see.
Okay.
But yeah, she was saying what this guy said to police and stuff and what the other guy said. And they're not trying to cover it up. And so you can see him. He turns around, runs away. He runs away to grab the next one. So the idea was he'll run up,
Then
launch
another
one.
guy comes in.
No. He runs back to grab the next one. So the other guy's like holding it for him, so he doesn't have to like be pulling stuff because you have to light them. They have it where you have to light them. So he throws it, and the other guy has the next one ready. He runs back and gets it, and then lights that one, and that's when cops swarm him and so on.
So any of these anti-protesters, you think any of them are going to change their minds on Islam?
No.
After, yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
It's like,
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. All right, everyone, let's check out the final clip, which is it's a press conference, so it's a little longer, but we will get all up to date on this.
Let's listen into the
Federal
NYPD Commissioner
charges
Jessica
have
Tisch.
been filed in the Southern District of New York against 2 individuals,
This is the police commissioner.
Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, in connection with
Ibrahim Moizus. Who knows? Ibrahim Moizus. Who knows what that's from?
let me check the chat.
I'm checking the chat. I want to see who knows.
I'm going to check the chat too because I don't know.
Ibrahim Moizus. For some reason, after I saw that, every single time I hear the name Ibrahim, I remember Ibrahim Moizus. Who knows? Who knows? Come on. Ah, there we go. Wanted to see who got it first.
Someone said it.
Yeah. There we go. Key and Peele.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, couple people caught it. Couple people caught it. Key and Peele. All right. I just wonder if you always wonder. Lawful good. Key and Peele. Yeah, there we go. Okay, guys. Okay. Some of you actually have good taste. No, that was from a sketch where they do all the characters, but it's supposedly the East versus West football football bowl or something like this, and they introduce all the starting players, and it's just Key and Peele going back and forth with various disguises, but coming up with increasingly silly names like Ozmataz, Buckshank. Anyway, I watched that with Nabil, and for like the next 6 months, whenever we were messaging each other, we would he'd go, "Hey, Ozmataz," and anyway, we just use names for that. But
Nice. Okay.
that attack. The defendants are charged with attempting to provide material support to ISIS, using a weapon of mass destruction, transporting explosive materials, interstate transportation and receipt of explosive materials, and unlawful possession of destructive devices.
and they completely failed, and they're going to be imprisoned for a long, long time. I looked up the charges. Some of those carry up to 10 years and stuff, but the bigger ones carry possible life sentence. Imagine just like, I mean, again, at least one of these guys lived in a mansion. He was in a $2.5 million mansion. And done. Their life's over, and you failed miserably. And you look like an idiot. And everyone's calling you dumb and dumber. Like emphasizing that for future possible jihadis. Man, I want to go launch an attack. Wait a minute. There's like a really, really good chance I'm going to look like a total idiot forever.
Yep.
And be a reminder of how jihad is just failing everywhere.
The complaint sets forth the factual allegations supporting those charges. As alleged in the complaint, the defendants were inspired by ISIS to carry out their attack. There should be no confusion about what ISIS constitutes. It is a designated foreign terrorist organization responsible for deadly terrorist attacks across the globe and has taken credit for mass casualty attacks in Europe, the Middle East, and right here in the United States. And as alleged, both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. As Qayyumi was being placed into an NYPD vehicle following his arrest.
Guys, again, I don't know which one is which, but she's talking about Qayyumi, and he instantly starts self-snitching.
Yeah, what's up with that?
The self-snitching?
No, I mean, like, do they wear like ISIS flags or something? Like, or do they just say afterwards? Like, oh, we were
No,
just
they
for
started
ISIS?
saying it. They started talking instantly. And that's
Malik style.
Yeah. So these are two of Malik's fans. we know that when anything goes wrong or you get caught or something like this, just start snitching as much as possible.
Yep.
Everyone else thinks, keep your mouth shut till your lawyer gets there. Not these guys. Anyway, That's how you can tell if someone really believes what they're doing. They just start blabbing it.
As Qayyumi was being placed into an NYPD vehicle following his arrest, a person in the crowd asked why he had done this. As shown on NYPD body-worn camera footage referenced in the complaint, Qayyumi responded with ISIS. And at the precinct, after being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Qayyumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS. The complaint also details statements made by Amir Balat after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Balat made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured on body-worn camera footage. He said,
Yeah, guys, when you're in the police cars, you are being recorded.
Yep.
But these guys, so far, they don't seem like they're trying to hide anything, but it's like, you failed miserably. Shouldn't you be? I don't know. I want everybody to know my motivations for completely failing and looking like an idiot in front of the entire world during Ramadan.
So these guys are Turkish.
At least one of them is. That Balat. What'd you say, Balat? That sounds Turkish.
Sounds like sounds like a Turkish thing. That's crazy. Yeah, it sounds like a Turkish name to me. So he got inspired by ISIS videos. And, okay. I'm just trying to piece it together because I didn't know. I didn't have like names or where these guys' backgrounds were or anything like that.
So this is one of those guys who was watching the videos from back in the day when ISIS jihadis were going around and just rolling around with machine guns and slaughtering everyone and going, hey, I want to be like that. I'll go throw something that doesn't work and spend the rest of my life in prison. Yay! Great job, guys. You did a bang-up job.
Yep.
Bunch of morons.
This isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, as well as if I did.
That sounds exactly like Malik.
Wow.
All right, we definitely found a couple of Malik fans here, guys. He's talking about what this guy was blabbing about in the car, and he's running his mouth, saying exactly what we hear from Dr. Malik.
You know what they should do? They should go on their phones, and when they go on the TikTok, see who they're following on TikTok. See if there's any,
being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured on body-worn camera footage. He said, "This isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, as well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it."
Well, we're glad it was you guys, because you guys are idiots. I'm more concerned about the really smart people.
Good point. Good point.
Or the idiots who are at least smart enough to know that they're idiots and that they need to like practice a lot beforehand and like test various things and so on. Those are the guys who should really creep you. It's like Anders Breivik, right? So not a Muslim, but a terrorist, right? But he started planning his attack in like the 1990s. And he spent all those years planning and learning things and so on before he carried it out. And that's why he was able to kill a bunch of people. He spent years, he was in no rush. He spent years planning versus these guys who are, oh my goodness, let's run. There's a protest. Let's learn how to build some stuff and run out. Okay. You guys are stupid.
Yeah.
Even stupid people can end up killing lots of people and stuff, but there's a significantly better chance that you're going to fail if you're stupid and impatient. It's the smart, patient guys that are really, really dangerous.
And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar."
Hey, isn't that what Ali Dawah says? Die in your rage?
That is what Ali Dawah says.
Huh.
Another one they're going to look into.
Die in your rage.
Later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, "I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar." Now, "die in your rage" is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers. He also told investigators that he had hoped to carry out an attack even...
That's the most honest I've ever seen any police commissioner in New York.
Wow. Die in your rage is a common ISIS phrase? Oh, okay.
Hey, you need to take that and combine it with all these just regular Muslims saying it. There's Ali Dawah. Who else said it? Multiple people said it to Jordan Peterson and so on. I'm talking like, I'm trying to think. I think Yasser Qadi. I think Yasser Qadi. I'd have to verify that though. But I've seen a bunch of those guys saying it. That is interesting.
I feel like I've heard Sajid even say it. Probably talking to other Muslims.
Than the Boston Marathon bombing, which he noted resulted in only Arabic term that refers to non-believers. He also told investigators that he had hoped to carry out an attack even bigger than the Boston Marathon bombing, which he noted resulted in only 3 deaths.
You catching this? So this is his written statement. "I wanted to kill more people than the Tsarnaevs killed in the Boston Marathon bombing because these guys only managed to kill 3 people. Well, you managed to kill 0 people.
Yeah, how are these people like you said, like how are these guys, like these guys are like the dumbest terrorists alive. Like oh yeah, we meant to do this and we meant to kill these many people, we meant to do this many people. It's like, yeah, just tell them, man.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, should have said you were joking the entire time, right? Like, no, we knew that wasn't gonna we knew that wasn't gonna blow up, man. We knew it was gonna blow. Okay, yeah, so it's got some stuff in there, but we knew it wasn't gonna work. No, we wanted to kill all of you.
These statements, as set forth in the complaint, make clear that this was not random violence. This was a planned attack motivated by extremist ideas.
Did anyone think this was random? Just guys walking by and, hey, we're going to light these things and throw them at people?
Ideology and inspired by a violent foreign terrorist organization. The complaint alleges not only why the defendants acted, but how. Preliminary testing has determined that one of the devices contained triacetone triperoxide, or TATP, also commonly referred to as Mother of Satan, a highly volatile explosive that has been used in multiple terrorist attacks over the last decade. As we have previously discussed, the NYPD identified a vehicle yesterday on East End Avenue that was linked to the defendants. Inside that vehicle, investigators recovered handwritten notes referencing TATP explosive and listing chemical ingredients for the type of explosive device used by the defendants on Saturday. Make no mistake, what happened this weekend was incredibly dangerous, and the ongoing investigation will be exhaustive. From the first moments of that investigation, the NYPD has been working seamlessly with our federal partners, many of whom have joined us here. In particular, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, which includes NYPD detectives working alongside federal agents. They have been at the center of this investigation. Members of the FBI and the Joint Terrorism Task Force, including NYPD task force officers, have executed search warrants at Kayumi and Balat's residences in Pennsylvania.
Those big mansions, or at least one mansion that I saw.
Wow.
Another important note, the two defendants arrived in New York City roughly 1 hour before they were arrested. According to our investigation, they crossed the George Washington Bridge with a license plate reader ping at 11:36 a.m. on Saturday, parked in front of 48 East End Avenue between 81st and 82nd Streets at 12:05 p.m., and walked to the protest. They ignited and threw the devices at approximately 12:15 p.m. and were immediately arrested thereafter. I want to thank our great United States Attorney Jay Clayton for his extraordinary partnership, as well as the prosecutors from SDNY for everything that they do, especially for their work on this investigation and their forthcoming prosecution. I also want to thank the FBI, especially James Barnacle, Assistant Director in charge of the FBI New York Field.
James Barnacle?
What isn't? So I wonder if this guy's like snitching on himself right here. He's like, I meant to do it. I wanted to kill this many more people too. And he's like,
of course he was. But now I can't even focus on that because there's a dude named James Barnacle. Like, I understand that there can be like names that came from some other, country and stuff like that. And then you keep your family name and stuff, even though it sounds like your name is Barnacle and so on. But there comes a times when you have to change it. You just change a few, like change it to Barnaby or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't, hang on, let me see if was that actually James Barnacle? Are you kidding me? Hold up.
NY for everything that they do, especially for their work on this investigation and their forthcoming prosecution. I also want to thank the FBI, especially James Barnacle, Assistant Director.
Yeah.
The only possible defense of that is she said FBI. Maybe he's undercover. Right? And he doesn't want his full name, his real name out there. So they're like, okay, you need a pseudonym, right? So we'll tell you, we give your name as something else. And he's just like, James, I don't know, Barnacle. How about Barnacle?
Apparently it's English and Irish.
Wait, Barnacle? You looked it up? Barnacle? Yeah. Hold up. Hang on. Speaking of barnacles. That was mean. Classic. How you doing, Issa?
I'm wonderful. I'm doing great.
Hey, do you know one of your co-religionists threw some devices in New York City. So you're here to tell us, oh, this has nothing to do with Islam. It's all just a coincidence.
Yeah,
he said Allahu Akbar multiple times.
Issues,
Yeah, he said it just like you too. Like when you say it, you're like Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's exactly what he sounded like. He said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Wow. I don't know. I believe in moral self cultivation. I don't know what this kind of thing is, but
Do you think either one of those would have any clue what you just said?
no.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, they're like, we'll look, I watch all these videos and I'm gonna go kill the Kufar. And you'd be like, what? And Issa would be like, what about moral self cultivation? Like, shut up, Kufar. We don't use these words.
It's kind of interesting. It's like people, they like to use that word, and the question I ask is, how do you know? I would ask them, how do they know if they're not one? You know, how do they know that they're right just because they watch some YouTube? I think that's the funny thing. I've noticed that people, they watch YouTube videos instead of like, hey, this is entertainment or this is fun. It's like, no, I'm gonna consider this like factual information. I find that to be really bizarre.
This live stream is factual information, actually, and we are on YouTube, as a matter of fact. So wait, so you just presented an interesting. You gave a dilemma for people. So you're basically saying, hey guys, if you watch it on YouTube, you shouldn't take it seriously, but you're saying it on YouTube. So do they take you seriously, or what do they do?
Yeah, it's funny. The thing is, I'm not saying that it's not factual. I'm just saying that they take everything like this is a factual thing. They don't peer
I'm just
review.
I'm messing around.
I know, I'm role playing with you. I'm just like, but the funny thing is, like, that's the question. Why not go and fact check it? Go look for other information. They're just like, no, I'm just going to go with the YouTube video, and that's good enough. I'm not saying that getting a YouTube video is bad. I just think you need to broaden your horizon of how you get information. You know, a lot of people they don't even read newspapers or anything else. They're just like, let me get a 5-bit, like 1 minute bit on TikTok, and that's Huck Bill Huck, 1 minute on TikTok.
Check the comment, Issa.
Oh wow. I do think people need to work on themselves. I do really believe that, and it's shocking. A lot of these people, they just want fast food justice, and they don't work on themselves and their own communities. It's sad. Oh boy.
Oh, comment of the day. He said me like, moral cultivation.
Oh, he even gave you the Mike Winger voice.
Oh, classic. Oh boy. Oh, all right. We'll take a couple super chats and then we'll finish that. Press conference. Someone in an online community I'm in brought up the miracle of iron coming from space and chromosome numbers in the Quran. I was able to get him to admit they weren't really miracles thanks to your work. Yeah, guys, and we're going to... Awesome. One of the things we want to do in 2026 is make all of that stuff way more accessible to everyone. Just like go to quick videos where you just have all the responses and all the sources on this stuff. It'll break Issa's heart, but can't make an omelet without breaking some Issas. David, will Qurans be desecrated for these acts? No, not for these. For other things. 70 to 100 generations of cousin marriage. Mm. David, why can't I find your email in your homepage? Is it on YouTube? I feel stupid. Wanted to send you something funny. Yeah, it is on my YouTube homepage. You usually have to click on it because they don't just have it out there because of bots. There's usually something you have to click on. If it doesn't work for some reason, try a different browser. Because maybe you're having a problem with your browser.
It should be like more info or something, like when they click on your channel. So I click on your channel right now, and then you just click on more and then view email address. So you should be able to see
it right there. Yeah. So you got a spot where, Now the Dawa guys should be brave men and own up to what their Allah and Quran says. Now they should convince these officers to take Shahada. That is the appropriate response. Backpack is an improvised explosive device. Halal. You got a picture of me there from Islamicize Me.
Hey, how far away was that from Times Square? That failed attack.
Grace. Well, it was outside Gracie Mansion, so I can look it up for you real quick.
I'm just curious if it's like the same patrol officers or something, like the same division.
Where to? It's all Manhattan, I believe. Gracie Mansion. Let's see. It's not terribly far. It's 21 minutes, but 21 minutes is a long. I mean, because of traffic in New York City and stuff. It's nope, it's not far. So Times Square is kind
I'm
of
curious.
right in the middle,
Yeah, I'm curious if
below
it's like the
below
same
Central Park.
the same officers that were harassing you guys. I wonder if those guys were like, you know,
There were only one or two, and who, like, they told Hatun they couldn't have the box, and then he was walking over and talking to the Warner, going, "Yeah, man, hey, don't react to these guys. They're professionals at trying to distract people from," and so on. Most there too. Most of the officers were cool. They were staying. They were kind of staying out of it unless things looked like they were going to escalate to someone getting physical and stuff like that. Then they kind of jump in. Other than that, they're staying in the area, but they weren't intervening. So that's what I think police should do, right? Be close enough to where you're ready to intervene. Other than that, it's the United States of America. Two people are arguing, or one person's in the middle of 10 people or 20 people they're all arguing. Stay out of it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Let's see. Allah doesn't know if you don't tell other people. Yeah. You got to make sure you tell everyone, because that way Allah knows. Are you fasting for Ramadan, D Wood? Else eat some Qurans. That would be funny if I ate Qurans all year long and then I fasted for Ramadan. Thank you, Officer Bob Squarepants. Is it weird that so many people are blaming the Jews when Muslims attack? No, that's pretty standard. And I haven't even looked, but I guarantee you, no, these guys work for Mossad.
Yeah, that would have been Junior's like first post after it happened, and it would have got like 5 million views.
And Sneeko.
Yeah.
I haven't even checked Sneeko's page, but that's pretty standard with him. I was sure Issa was going to come up. Hello, friend.
Hi. Oh, it's Ida. Hey, Ida.
And then we have Casina in Mario's voice. Issa me, Adawa, bro. Why is Issa so likable? That's what I'm wondering. Hey, Issa, we were talking afterwards one day, and I was saying, hey, so many people like you, man. What the heck? Why don't you have a awesome YouTube channel using some of these presentations that you make all the time? And can I share your awesome idea so people know what's coming in the future? Issa had this awesome idea for a channel teaching Muslims the Bible. Yep. Like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, so I'm going to explain these things for you. Issa, when you make your first real video for that channel, I will also contribute a video. Well, I don't know if you want me on there, but
of course that doesn't bother me. I totally love the support. Thank you.
Yeah, there are just lots of passages where they think they have a clue what they're talking about, and they're totally missing something. They're just totally missing what's really going on, and then they sound like idiots. Fast food dawa makes a fatid wakaz. I know what you want me to say. I'm not saying it, man. Jesus is the best moral cultivator. That's true. Let's see. Blessed evening, D Wood and Jai. What the heck? What about Issa, man? Quit being racist. Please check your emails. I'm a former Muslim working on an evangelizing text and would like to join. You got the Dearborn mission. Oh, Dearborn. That's where it's at, man. No, you should eat more Qurans. You should eat more Qurans during Ramadan. Yeah, I have to eat more Qurans than normal. And spend more on Qurans and gain more weight from Quran. Because Issa is part Jewish. Oh, that's a response to why is Issa so likable. Yeah. The world is filled with tons of people who absolutely love all things Jewish right now. And if you say you're part Jewish, your likability is just going to go through the roof automatically. All right, guys, let's jump back into this press conference here.
In charge of the FBI New York field office, and Rob Kassane, the FBI's special agent in charge for counterterrorism, as well as the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We are grateful always for the FBI agents and assistant U.S. attorneys who have been working around the clock with us since Saturday. Finally, and most importantly, I want to recognize the members of the NYPD who responded on Saturday and in the hours that followed. The officers assigned to that protest who ran toward a lit, improvised, explosive device. The bomb squad technicians who secured and analyzed the device.
Look at that dork on the ground. That's a good camera angle.
Do you know what's funny? It looks like he has like a top knot, you know, like
he did.
It reminds me of actually like the Dharmic Hindu stories. A lot of like the kings, that's what they look like. They have like long hair and then they have like a top knot. So it's really kind of hilarious that he's supposed to be representing a Muslim. It's interesting.
Okay. So we saw his hair earlier.
Yeah.
Issa's reaction is, it reminds me of a Dharma top knot from the culture of blah, blah, blah in 1752. Other people were just like, hey, he stole his hair from Gene Simmons and Kiss.
Wow, that makes sense. I didn't even think of that. That's wild. I like those music videos. It's really cool. Yeah, that makes sense. It actually does work.
I want to rock and roll all night. Allahu Akbar every day.
The detectives and analysts who worked through the night to develop this investigation, and the countless members of service who helped ensure the security of the people of New York City during a very tense and dangerous.
Come on, lady. We know they did a bang-up job, the NYPD, but get to some actually interesting details. Or I'm gonna cut this thing off, man.
Situation. The NYPD remains on heightened alert, and our mission is simple, and that is to keep New Yorkers safe. That responsibility belongs to the nearly 35,000 members of this department who stand watch over this city and who are prepared to respond whenever and wherever danger appears. On Saturday, we saw that commitment in.
Hey, did you see it there? You saw that famous top knot there, Issa. Look at that.
Yeah.
See it?
I see it.
Look at that.
That's legendary.
I'm just saying, if he had a beanie on, I might think that's Issa.
He doesn't have facial hair though, right? Or he has a little. I don't know.
Yeah, where's your Suna beard, man?
Saw that commitment in action. Thank you. Now I will turn it over to our United States Attorney, Jay Clayton.
Finally, tell us more about these charges.
Thank you, Commissioner Tisch. I'm very proud to be here today with Commissioner Tisch and Director Barnes.
If I was her, I'd go with Commish Tisch. That just sounds cooler. It has a nicer ring. Commish Tisch.
Representing this joint effort to keep our city safe. And I'm going to pick up where the commissioner left off. I watched the video of New York Police Department officers running to the danger, knowing that these might be explosive devices, knowing that they might explode. That is the kind of commitment that makes this city great. Thank you. Thank all your officers. That's tremendous. It makes me so proud as a New Yorker. As Commissioner Tisch noted, we charged 2 individuals today, Balat and Kayumi. They are charged federally with 5 counts. Attempted provision of material support and resources to a designated foreign terrorist organization.
I think that
Use of a weapon of mass destruction, transportation of explosive materials,
I think that's 10.
interstate transportation and receipt of explosives,
I think that's 10 as
and
well.
unlawful possession of destructive devices.
I think that's 10.
Wow.
The facts alleged in the complaint are just that, allegations. In our great system of justice, they must be proven. And the defendants...
Well, they did a bang-up job helping you prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
Have the
admitting
presumption
everything.
of innocence. Commissioner Tisch did an exceptional job outlining the facts alleged in the complaint. These were ISIS-inspired actions. And it is chilling that they wanted to do something more than the Boston Marathon, more than 3 deaths. Free speech and peaceable assembly are the bedrock of American democracy. But violence is not protected. And it's not protected protest. It's not protected speech. In New York, violence, particularly violence that has a terrorist bent, violence that is meant to chill free speech, violence that is meant to keep us from assembling peaceably, will be met with swift justice. This investigation remains ongoing, and we encourage anyone with further information to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI, C-A-L-L-FBI.
I have some more information about like what gives rise to all this stuff.
Yep.
In closing, I want to express my deep gratitude for, again, the NYPD and all of those folks in my office who immediately answered the call and worked around the clock. In particular, the heads of our National Security and International Narcotics Unit, Eleanor Tarlow and Jason Richman, and our line U.S. attorneys, who I don't think have slept, which is why we are here so quickly.
Did he say our lying U.S. attorneys?
National Narcotics Unit, Eleanor Tarlow and Jason Richman, and our line U.S. attorneys, who I don't think have slept, which is why we are here so quickly, Jonathan Bodonsky and Jane Chong. Thank you all very much. I'll now turn it over to Director Barnacle.
Thank you, U.S. Attorney Clayton. My name is James Barnacle. I'm the...
Why would you be bragging about that, dude? Your name is literally Barnacle.
Apparently, lying U.S. attorney is it refers to a federal prosecutor. So I don't know. They're called lying.
I'm past that, man. This dude's name is Barnacle.
Yeah, I know.
The Barnacle family.
Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's New York field office. Today, alongside our partners in New York City Police Department and the Southern District of New York, our office has announced federal terrorism charges against Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayoumi.
Ibrahim Moizus.
On Saturday, March 7th, these two individuals allegedly threw one suspicious device and attempted to throw another during a protest outside Gracie Mansion. As the commissioner noted, if it weren't for the bravery of two New York's finest, we could have had a much more tragic incident. Yesterday, on Sunday, March 8th, a third device was recovered from a vehicle on East End Avenue. Upon careful analysis by NYPD bomb techs and FBI Special Agent bomb technicians, it was determined that these items were improvised explosive devices, IEDs, designed to inflict serious injury and death to those in the vicinity of the intended blast zone. Both subjects have stated they were inspired by ISIS, a designated terrorist organization, to conduct this attack. Balat and Kayoumi sought to incite fear and mass suffering through this alleged attempted terror attack in the backyard of an elected city official.
There it is, guys. Dumb and Dumber.
This weekend was just another example of the elevated threat environment we're currently living in. Let me be clear. The FBI will not tolerate those who use violence against targets in New York City to broadcast their terroristic ideologies. This would not have been possible. The outcome we're talking about today would not have been possible without the FBI's New York Joint Terrorism Task Force, led by Special Agent in Charge Rob Kassane. Our Special Agent Bob technicians, as well as our partners at the NYPD and the Southern District of New York. I would like to thank Commissioner Jessica Tisch for your department's on.
All right, now we're just thanking everybody again. Let me fast forward through this, see if there's anything relevant here. Don't know if there is. Maybe Q&A.
Thank you very much. I hear what you said about what the individuals stated regarding ISIS, but do you have any information yet about whether they were self-radicalized or actually recruited by ISIS? And is there anything you can say about whether they were targeting anything or any person specifically? The mayor said earlier today that it was known this protest was going to take place for about a week. So did they come here specifically to target that group, or were they targeting the mayor, any other group?
So we're not going to be able to answer the first question at this time for the reasons I stated earlier. It is clear that they showed up in front of Gracie Mansion for their planned counter-protest in response to the original protest that was planned by a Jake Lang affiliated group.
So your name and outfit? Miller, Bloomberg News. Both of these suspects have extensive Middle East travel histories, which may be inconsequential. They both are Middle Eastern. How are you squaring that with this attack? And then secondly, can you just talk about the nature? These are two young men, not even 21, and the nature of radicalization reaching young people.
So on the first part of your question, we're not able to answer that at this time, although, of course, as part of our investigation, we are aware of international travel.
That horrible noise. Are these professionals?
And I'm going to ask Rebecca Weiner, our Deputy Commissioner of Intel and Counterterrorism, to talk about radicalization of youth. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is very much in keeping with a trend that we are seeing among ISIS-inspired.
It's that chick from Breaking Bad, Lydia.
Adherents, both in the country as well as throughout the West. Younger and younger individuals who are.
It's dumber and dumberer, not younger and youngerer.
Radicalizing and mobilizing to violence. And this is taking place against the backdrop of social media, the dynamics of online culture. It's not limited to ISIS, it's across the ideological spectrum. Younger people mobilizing to violence, something we're tracking very closely.
Have any of, Jerika Duncan from CBS News. Had any of these two individuals been arrested before? Do they have any type of record? And how much time are they facing? And if I could get a third question in, can you describe how destructive those devices could have been? How many people could have been impacted if they were successful?
So I believe that the two individuals in question do not have criminal histories or criminal backgrounds.
Unless being a spoiled rich kid is a crime.
And Rebecca, if you could explain more about that IED and TATP specifically and what it was capable of.
As the commissioner mentioned, TATP is highly dangerous and extremely volatile. And the NYPD and FBI bomb squads and bomb technicians did do controlled detonations of the two IEDs from the protest, which revealed a significant explosion. It's really important to note that had these IEDs functioned the way the perpetrators allegedly wanted them to, they could have caused death, destruction, extremely dangerous compound, an extremely dangerous place deployed.
All right, I think that's enough. We all got the idea now. Take these
wow.
links. What?
That's wild.
Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Has living in the subcontinent influenced your beliefs? Would like to hear your testimony if you like. Who are you talking to, man? Talking to Aunt Ike. Why are you leaving a super chat?
It might be me.
We're saying, has living in the subcontinent influenced your beliefs?
I didn't live. I've been in the subcontinent, but I didn't live
I don't know.
there.
We don't know that he's talking to you, man. He's speaking to at IK. I don't know who that is.
I think that's me, though. Issa Kabeer. That's why I thought it might be me.
When are you living in the subcontinent?
I didn't.
That's
but he's
what
saying
I mean.
because
I'm assuming he's talking to someone else.
Oh, I think it's because of my background. I have background from the subcontinent. I've been there, though.
Hey, here you go. Channel name. Issa explains Issa.
I really think Muslims need to learn about the gospel. Like, I think they just, a lot of them really don't know it or understand it. Yeah, like I know you're joking, but like I was thinking about Nadir Ahmed's performance with you know, in certain debates, and he brought up the mustard seed, and he loves to bring this up, that the mustard seed is not the smallest seed, and I'm like, is that all you got from reading the text? Is about the mustard seed? Like, is that what you saw? Like, do you not understand the message of the text? What the wisdom of that point is? It's not really about the seed. It's about something else. You know.
Yeah.
I think I will have to make a video about the mustard seed. You know.
By the way, Gleason Archer has a book called The Encyclopedia of Bible Difficulties, or something to that effect. That's what it's titled. He talks about the mustard seed, and he does say that in that region, that it's the smallest seed, not like in existence though. Yeah.
I don't think that's what even was meant by it.
No, I know. But even if you want to go at that level too.
Yeah, I think I compared it when I think I once compared it. It's like if I say, which this isn't even the parallel, but it's like, imagine I said this Nadir Ahmed is the worst debater ever. Am I actually saying that in all of history, you could not ever find a worse debater? No, it wouldn't be. No. It could just be hyperbolic and so on. Two, it could be like, it's the smallest seed that you guys have any encounter with or something like that. All kinds of possibilities. But anyway, yeah, just Nadir, not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Hi, Issa. I hope you're having a great day. You have Issa, don't take it the wrong way. I like you, even if you weren't part Jewish.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it.
David, I first watched Islamicize Me at 2 a.m. after one of your longer streams and woke up the entire family from my laughter. They should have more views. Well, yeah, as soon as we put that out, YouTube started suffocating it and like banning stuff and then making us fight for it. So yeah, it was a little suffocated. Now that we know what set YouTube off, we want to remake that in the future to kind of work around those kinds of issues. Hey, Issa, you going to be in the Islamicize Me reboot, man?
If you invite me, I'll come. You know.
We're gonna invite you.
Nice.
Yeah, someone just suggested, because we'd want to do it differently. So it's not just the same thing. But someone suggested replacing the magic backpack with Lily J with ChatGPT.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Okay, that was you. That was awesome. Yeah, that would be better. Be cool.
That's you, actually, and that was you. That picture that person used was you from Islamicize Me with the green face.
Yeah.
Where you shaved the mustache. You look so much like a perfect Salafi. If you dressed like that in Philadelphia, they'd be like, Assalamu alaikum, ya akhi. How are you? Coming to the masjid? You would totally get them with that.
I mean, the Hebrew Israelites totally punked out, man. When we rolled up on them like Salafis, they totally punked out. Not all Hebrew Israelites do. Some Hebrew Israelites, like the guys in New York and stuff, they don't get nervous at all around any Salafis or anything. But the guys out in Phoenix did. They totally punked out. But DHA people, but the people are retarded. They missource Islam. Osho, it must be awkward for Major Muslim that the bad guys were on his team. Yeah, that does suck. They're trying to frame this like it wasn't a direct attack on anti-Muslim protesters. It had nothing to do with the mayor, so dishonest. Blessed evening, Issa. Wasn't excluding him, but I hadn't emailed him. Looking forward to the Bible study channel and his eventual return to the flock. We got the Speaking Muslim is going through it right now. Is he? I haven't been following that lately. We'll get updates, but
who is that?
The Speaking
is that
Muslim,
the guy who was at DebateCon? I wasn't able to.
Yeah,
come,
so he was at DebateCon and. Yep, then he was going back and forth with Malik, and Malik snitched on him for being the guy who was behind a lot of the doxing. He was feeding Issa. Yeah. I mean, not feeding Issa, feeding Malik stuff. And but it's
He's-
crazy. But it's crazy because he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of stuff that you would get disbarred for.
Yeah.
Rough stuff.
He's since started going by speaking and dropped Muslim out of his name, and people are saying he left Islam. I'm thinking he's thinking that if he doesn't identify as a Muslim anymore, that he's gonna people aren't gonna want to sue him or something like that.
Yeah.
But
No, that would
yeah.
be. That's the thing. When you catch people repeatedly being horribly deceptive and manipulative and so on, and then they do
Yeah.
something, it's like, okay, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? So, yeah. So, guys, as far as him dropping the Muslim from his name, that could be like people that he was doxing and so on. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, but he's leaving Islam, so we're going to leave him alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I don't know. It's bizarre to me. I'm like, why? It's a debate sphere. Just debate. You don't need to bring people's personal lives into it. It's so weird to me. I don't get it.
Oh, that reminds me. So then he went to some hookah lounge, and there was it sounded like a huge club. He was on TikTok, and they're playing with really loud music. They're all smoking, and Malik was saying, "Yeah, this guy left Islam, but he's like all the Dawa guys do that." He said that again. He he's like they all go to the lounge. He's like, just because they don't live stream it doesn't mean they're not doing that stuff. He's like every Muslim on this app does that.
I said it before, guys, and whoever owns that hookah lounge in Queens, New York. My wife and I were walking in Queens, and there was a Arab restaurant. It's called Peter Pan. Peter Pan. And right beside it was a hookah lounge, and it just said hookah lounge. And it's like,
Yep.
How do you not call that Captain Hookah? How? How in the name, how is that? It took me half a second to go, Peter Pan. How did you not name that hookah? Anyway, how did you not name it Captain Hookah? Oh, we're going to call it Hookah Lounge right beside Peter Pan. Come on, guys. Come on. Yo, Issa, you're an enigma. Jesus is the only way. Get off the fence already. Praying for you, bro.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you for that beautiful message. Appreciate it.
Lines and Stripes says, I'm a pro audio engineer. Would love to help your audio woes. Well, we got tutorials and stuff online. Hey, send me an email, though. Tell me where you're located. Because if you're just going to email me stuff, I can just watch tutorials. But if you're traveling distance, I might just fly you over and you can sit down with us in a room for 2 days until we understand everything.
Yes. Be our tutor.
Issa, why are you not yet a Christian? What stops you? How many times are people going to ask Issa?
I know that's the normal question.
Now we have Zut. And we've got Restating This. Islamicize Me remake could be called Dawasize Me. The first was about becoming Muslim. This one could be about becoming a Dawa guy. Well, you know what happens then? They gotta take you to the club. They gotta get you in there with some trans women, and they gotta you gotta learn how to run some trains and all that stuff. You gotta do all that stuff to be a Dawa guy. Why do ex-Muslims give testimony that Jesus has come to them in a dream, but I've never heard a Muslim say Muhammad came to them in a dream? Is this proof Jesus lives and Muhammad does not? Isn't there a weird hadith that says if you dream about Muhammad, it's actually him or something? Wasn't there?
Yeah, it says that the devil can't take the form of any of the prophets. So that's why speaking Muslim, when he had that vision or something, it's actually he said it was a jinn afterwards, but it can't be according to Islam, because a jinn or a demon can't take the form of a prophet according to Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
That's blown by Islam, yeah.
Here we have David. Do people have to send money for their comments to be read? No, just like I just read this one right now. Kusowali Muhammad.
I'm not sure what his name is.
A bunch of comments, but it does go into, in eCam, it does go into a separate folder, which is all right there. So, and we do tend to try to go, whenever possible, we do tend to try to go through all the super chats and so on. And then we just kind of read other comments as they pop up. But go ahead, give me a comment. Give me your favorite comment.
automatically stars them when they send a super chat, so it's really easy just for us to see them and put them on the screen.
Now's your chance, man. Give me your comment. I'm going to post it.
Must be something super epic.
You have about 20 or 30 seconds left because we're going to be rolling out here. Wait. That's what you came up with?
Lol.
I gave you a golden ticket, man. I gave you a golden ticket to post any comment you wanted. And what you came up with was lol. I'm a forgiving man. I'm a forgiving man. So I'm going to give you one more shot. I'm going to give you one more shot, or I'm going to conclude that you're crap at commenting.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, hang on. There we go. There we go. What is your opinion on Iran war? Well, that you have evil terrorist scumbag leaders that most of the population hates, and you have a majority non-Muslim population in Iran, and even a bunch of the Muslims don't like being run by these guys. And so I would love to see a better government there with more freedom and less oppression. With that said, always have mixed feelings about intervention from Western nations and so on. Once Trump told them that if they rise up in protest, he will have their back and support them, that I think you have to do it after that, whether you think it's a good idea or not. That if you promise someone something and then they're going out and thousands of them are dying over it, I think you have to have their back. So anyway, that's about the extent of my thoughts.
Also, your video is at like 400K now on 400K. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Watch my video, man. Why are you asking stuff when I already made a video that I forgot about? And then you say, is America losing this war? What do you mean?
In what world would America be losing this war?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Anyway,
I mean, I think the answer to that question is you said it. It's like we care about life and the best life for the Persian Iranian people. That's the most important thing. That they are able to have the best governance, the best leadership, whatever that looks like, for them.
Yeah.
God willing.
Yeah. So best case scenario here, the people go ahead and rise up and they take their nation back from the mullahs, who oppress everyone. Has to come from the people. What would be a disaster for the U.S. is if things just go back to normal in Iran, like the way they've been for the past almost 5 decades now.
Yeah, they got a new Ayatollah.
I would consider that a loss. I don't know exactly what you mean by loss, because it's not. There's no scenario where like the United States gets defeated. The United States can say, okay, this isn't worth it anymore, and we're leaving or something like that. If things just went back to normal and it's just a different evil lunatic in charge of the tentacle machine pulling the strings for terrorists around the world, I would count that as not achieving any sort of meaningful goal in the war. Best case scenario, people of Iran give these guys the boot, tell them they're not in power anymore. But don't know what else is going to happen. We'll have to see. All right, everyone. Any final thoughts on any of this, guys, before we cut out? Just wanted everyone to be updated on that attack.
Yeah, I was updated too during that. I just saw like the headlines, but I didn't even know there was like 2 people involved. And so again, we see another face of Islam representing Muhammad in ways of violence, and we ask people to contrast that, to look into the Bible, look into the gospel, and see how the Lord Jesus Christ is behavior, character, and look at the light and day contrast between Muhammad and Jesus.
I think what I would share is that definitely promoting the light over the darkness, and definitely not taking the path of violence and evil, and rebuking that. I think that that's a critical space, and this is just an utter tragedy. And I'm glad that it was the any real damage that could have happened was averted, but just wow, it's just it's horrific and tragic, and God willing, we will not, we'll have a better future where this will not happen.
One last question. Michael says, David Wood, how do you rectify? Be prepared to give an answer for the hope that you have, but do so with gentleness and respect. 1 Peter 3:15. With destroying Qurans and rage baiting.
Rage baiting. You don't do that.
Yeah. Rage baiting Muslims. 1 Peter 3:15. One, it's in a context of Christians being persecuted and so on. But two, that's apologetics. That's someone asking you, hey, why do you believe this stuff? Do I rip up Qurans or eat Qurans in response to, hey, why do you believe in Christianity?
Nope. Never seen that.
No. That's someone asking you, hey, why do you actually believe this stuff? Is that someone is threatening people, doxing people, targeting women with threats of rape and torture and so on? Is it? Does 1 Peter 3:15 say, hey, if someone is launching a campaign to harass non-Muslim women with threats of rape and torture, go ahead and stalk them, harass them, threaten them wherever they are, and make sure you respond to that with gentleness and respect. Is that what the verse says?
No.
Only point here is be careful in your application of Scripture and make sure it's accurate.
Yeah. Like the former like sorcerers and like magicians and acts, how they burn their magic books and stuff. They burn like their books. I'm sure there are still people that were like sorcerers and magicians that would have been offended by that. Like that's like, hey, that's our book. We used it, but that was their conviction to do that, and that was in accordance with their faith that they left that behind. And they're going forward. That doesn't mean they're in conflict with 1 Peter 3:15 because they were burning their former books. And David, you've already explained so many times why you do it. So there should be a video. You probably do a video for that somewhere, or there's a clip somewhere.
Why I will eat your book. All right, guys. Thanks everyone for joining. Might have a video out on this tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but definitely won't be live tomorrow because I'll be somewhere, but more on that later. All right. Catch y'all later.